If you're over 60 and you've been told your whole life that drinking more water is the secret to great skin, I want you to keep listening because that advice is only half true. Plain water keeps you hydrated. It does not by itself rebuild the collagen your skin has been quietly losing for the last 30 years. And that gap between staying hydrated and actually supporting your skin's structure is where almost everyone over 60 gets stuck. Today I'm going to walk you through 5 things backed by real published research that you can add to your daily routine to give your skin what plain water can't. I'm not going to invent statistics for you. I'm not going to tell you about a made-up patient named Patricia who transformed in 8 weeks. I'm going to tell you what the actual clinical trials found, including where the evidence is strong and where it's still modest. Because you deserve the real picture, not a version dressed up to sound more dramatic than it is. Before we get into the list, let's talk for a moment about why your skin changes so much after 60, because understanding the why is what makes the what to do about it actually make sense. Starting somewhere in your late 20s or early 30s, your body's collagen production begins a slow decline. Collagen is the structural protein that gives skin its firmness and its ability to bounce back. By the time most people reach their 60s, a meaningful portion of that collagen has already been lost, and the rate of loss doesn't slow down. If anything, after menopause in women, it can speed up for a period of years due to hormonal changes affecting collagen turnover. At the same time, your skin's oil glands produce less sebum, the natural oil that helps seal moisture into the skin. That's a big part of why skin often feels drier and more fragile as we age. It's not just about how much water you're drinking, it's that the skin has a harder time holding on to the water it has. Your skin also naturally loses hyaluronic acid over time, a molecule that's remarkable at binding water inside tissue. Less hyaluronic acid means your skin cells have a harder time retaining hydration even when you're drinking plenty of fluids. And there's one more piece that people rarely talk about. Older adults in general tend to have a blunted thirst response. Your body doesn't send the drink water signal as strongly as it used to, which means many people over 60 are mildly, chronically underhydrated without ever feeling thirsty enough to notice. So before we even get to the additions, the baseline matters. You may simply need to be more intentional about drinking water consistently throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. With that foundation, let's get into the 5 additions the research actually supports. Number 5 is something so basic that it gets overlooked constantly: electrolytes, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium, added in modest amounts to your water. Here's the physiology. Water alone doesn't necessarily hydrate your cells efficiently. Electrolytes are what create the osmotic gradient that pulls water across cell membranes and into the tissue that needs it, including your skin cells. This is actually why sports drinks and oral rehydration solutions exist. Plain water alone, especially in large volumes, can move through your system without being absorbed as efficiently as water paired with the right minerals. For older adults specifically, this matters even more because kidney function and the body's ability to concentrate urine change somewhat with age, which affects how efficiently your body retains the water you drink. A pinch of a mineral-rich salt, a small amount of potassium from a source like coconut water or a slice of citrus, or a magnesium-rich mineral water can help your body actually use the water you're drinking rather than just processing it through. The practical version of this is simple. You don't need a commercial electrolyte powder, though those are fine if your doctor is comfortable with the sodium content. A glass of water with a slice of orange or a splash of coconut water once or twice a day is enough for most people. If you have high blood pressure, kidney disease, or you're on diuretics or blood pressure medication, talk to your doctor before adding extra sodium or potassium to your routine, because those conditions change how much of these minerals is safe for you specifically. Number 4 is vitamin C. And unlike some of the trendier suggestions you'll see online, this one has decades of solid biochemistry behind it, not just marketing. Vitamin C is not optional for collagen production. It's a required cofactor. Specifically, your body needs vitamin C to complete a chemical step called hydroxylation, which stabilizes the collagen molecule into its strong triple helix structure. Without enough vitamin C, the collagen your skin cells attempt to build is structurally weaker and breaks down faster. This isn't a theory, it's basic, well-established biochemistry taught in every physiology course on connective tissue. Vitamin C also functions as an antioxidant in the skin, helping to neutralize some of the oxidative stress from sun exposure that accelerates the breakdown of existing collagen. The recommended daily intake for adults is around 75 to 90 milligrams a day, and that's genuinely enough for most people through diet alone. Citrus fruits, bell peppers, strawberries, kiwi, and broccoli are all excellent sources. Where this becomes relevant to your water routine is simple. A squeeze of fresh lemon or orange in your water first thing in the morning is a pleasant, low-effort way to nudge your vitamin C intake up, especially if your diet is otherwise light on fruits and vegetables. It won't work miracles on its own, but as a consistent daily habit that supports the collagen your body is already trying to build, it's genuinely useful and it costs almost nothing. One caution: if you're on certain blood thinners or specific medications, very high-dose vitamin C supplements can interact, so if you're considering a supplement beyond food sources, mention it to your doctor or pharmacist first. Number 3 is omega-3 fatty acids, and this is one that surprises people because it doesn't get talked about nearly as much as collagen does, even though the research on skin barrier function is fairly consistent. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish like salmon and sardines, walnuts, flaxseed, and fish oil supplements, are incorporated directly into the lipid layer of your skin, the barrier that keeps water in and irritants out. Research has shown that adequate omega-3 intake is associated with better skin barrier function and reduced transepidermal water loss, which is the technical term for water evaporating out through your skin instead of staying where it's needed. Omega-3s also have a mild anti-inflammatory effect, and chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the mechanisms known to accelerate collagen breakdown over time. This isn't about drinking omega-3s in your water, obviously. It's about pairing your hydration habit with a food or supplement source consistently, because a well-hydrated body still needs an intact barrier to actually hold on to that moisture. Think of your skin's lipid barrier as the wall around a reservoir. You can pour in all the water you want, but if the wall has gaps, it leaks back out. For most adults, 1 to 2 servings of fatty fish per week, or a fish oil or algae-based omega-3 supplement in the range your doctor recommends, is a reasonable target. If you're on blood thinners, again, check with your doctor first, since omega-3s at higher doses can have a mild blood thinning effect of their own. Number 2 is oral hyaluronic acid, and this is one where the evidence has genuinely gotten stronger over the last several years. Hyaluronic acid is the molecule inside your skin that's responsible for binding and holding water. A single hyaluronic acid molecule can hold many times its weight in water. As you age, your skin's natural hyaluronic acid content declines, which is part of why skin can look dehydrated even when you're drinking enough. For a long time, hyaluronic acid was mostly known as an injectable filler or a topical serum ingredient, but a number of randomized, placebo-controlled trials over the last decade have tested oral hyaluronic acid supplements, meaning you drink or swallow it rather than inject it, and found measurable improvements in skin moisture and a reduction in fine lines after consistent use over roughly 8 to 12 weeks. The effect sizes in these trials are modest, not dramatic, but they are statistically real, and they've been replicated across multiple independent studies, which is exactly the kind of consistency you want to see before trusting a claim. The practical approach is a low molecular weight oral hyaluronic acid supplement, typically dosed around 120 to 240 milligrams daily, dissolved in water. It's inexpensive, it has a strong safety profile, and unlike some trendier ingredients, the mechanism actually lines up with what we know about how skin retains moisture. This is a genuinely reasonable addition if you want to try something beyond diet alone. And now, number 1, the addition with the most robust body of clinical evidence behind it for adults in their 60s, 70s, and beyond: hydrolyzed collagen peptides, ideally alongside adequate daily protein. Here's what's actually going on. When collagen is broken down through a controlled process into small peptide fragments, 2 to 5 amino acids long, those fragments can be absorbed through the gut wall into the bloodstream largely intact. Research has shown these circulating peptides act as signaling molecules that encourage your skin's fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing new collagen, to ramp up their own collagen synthesis. It's essentially your body interpreting the presence of these fragments as a cue that repair work needs to happen. I want to be precise with you about the evidence here because this is the ingredient with the most hype attached to it, and it deserves an honest look rather than an inflated one. Multiple systematic reviews and meta-analyses, meaning researchers pooled data across many separate randomized, placebo-controlled trials involving well over 1,000 participants combined, have consistently found that daily oral hydrolyzed collagen supplementation produces statistically significant improvements in skin hydration and elasticity, typically measured over 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use. Some of the trials also found modest reductions in wrinkle depth. Here's the honest caveat, and I think it's important you hear it. A portion of the trials in this space were funded by companies that manufacture or sell collagen supplements, and at least one recent careful review found that when you isolate only the independently funded, higher quality studies, the benefit becomes less certain. That doesn't mean collagen peptides don't work. The biological mechanism is real and well documented, and plenty of well-designed trials, including some independent of industry funding, still show benefit. It means the effect is real, but likely more modest than the marketing around it suggests, and you shouldn't expect a dramatic transformation from a supplement alone. If you want to try it, look for a product labeled as hydrolyzed collagen peptides, typically dosed around 10 grams per day, dissolved in water or a beverage of your choice. Pairing it with your vitamin C intake actually makes sense here, since vitamin C is required for your body to properly use the amino acids from collagen to build new, stable collagen fibers. And don't neglect the basics underneath the supplement. Getting enough overall dietary protein from any source gives your body the full range of amino acids it needs, not just the specific ones found in collagen. One more note that matters more than any supplement on this list: nothing on this list replaces sun protection. Ultraviolet exposure is by a wide margin the single largest driver of visible skin aging, far more significant than diet, hydration, or any supplement. If you take away one thing from this video beyond the 5 additions, let it be this: daily sunscreen, a wide-brimmed hat, and seeking shade during peak sun hours will do more for how your skin looks in 5 years than any drink you add to your routine. These additions are genuinely useful support, not a substitute for protecting the skin you have. I also want to say clearly that none of this is a replacement for seeing a dermatologist, especially if you notice any new or changing spots, sores that don't heal, or significant changes in your skin. Skin checks matter for reasons that go well beyond appearance, and a real doctor looking at your actual skin will always know more than any general advice a video can give you. So let's bring this together into something you can actually use starting tomorrow morning. A reasonable, evidence-informed daily approach looks like this. Start your day with a glass of water with a slice of citrus in it, both for a touch of vitamin C and to support hydration at the cellular level. If you choose to add a hydrolyzed collagen peptide supplement, dissolve it into that same glass or into a cup of tea. Make sure you're eating a source of omega-3s a few times a week, whether that's fish, walnuts, or a supplement your doctor is comfortable with. Consider an oral hyaluronic acid supplement if you want additional support for hydration specifically, and pay attention to your overall fluid intake throughout the day rather than only drinking when you feel thirsty, since that thirst signal isn't as reliable as it used to be. None of this is a miracle protocol. It's a set of small, evidence-supported habits that, over consistent use across weeks and months, give your skin measurably better raw material to work with. That's a realistic promise, and honestly, I think a realistic promise you can trust is worth more than a dramatic one you can't. If you found this useful, I'd genuinely like to know which of these 5 you're going to start with, and if you've already tried any of them, tell me what you noticed. And if there's a topic in senior health you'd like a clear, honest breakdown of, no exaggerated claims, just what the actual research says, leave it in the comments, because that's exactly what this channel is here to do. Take care of yourself, be a little skeptical of anything that sounds too good to be true, including things I tell you, and I'll see you in the next one.